Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our very exciting Zoom today. We have a brand new update that we've been working on for a really long time. So we're really excited. And Grandmaster David's going to go over that with you in a moment. The update I know has appeared for some of you already. If it hasn't, and you log out and you log back in, and it's still the old screen would be that sunset picture when you log in. Now it's going to be like the moon and the stars, and it's purple and blue, and we're going to show you what that looks like. If you don't have that right now, you'll need to clear your cache. So we're going to go over how to do that and some of the really cool, exciting new features. So I hand you over to Grandmaster David.
All right, thank you, Emily. And yeah, so I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to show you what your screen might look like. Now, some of you your cache may have automatically updated. And if so, that's great. You're looking at the new screen. But if your cache did not automatically update, no problem. I'm going to show you what that looks like and then how to fix it. So let me share my screen. Okay, get rid of all of this stuff here. All right. And so, okay, so you can see that it looks a little weird. It looks a little disorientated. And this is what happens when your cache didn't clear. And so, but you can see the new interactive session button, which is very cool. And we're going to go over that and what that does, and another cool feature or two. And so, first, what I want to do is update my cache so that everything is the full update. And so I'm going to go now. I'm on Brave, which is like Google Chrome. And so I'm going to go up to the top right hand corner. And I'm going to click on the little hamburger menu. And then I'm going to scroll down to where you see delete browser data. And now all browsers are not the same. And you can just do a quick YouTube search for how to delete your cache and cookies in whatever browser you have. But I'm just going to show you how to do this. It's very simple. And most of these are very similar. So delete browser data. And then this comes up. And I don't need to necessarily delete my history, but I want to delete the cookies and I want to delete the cached images and files. And so I just say delete that data. And that's it. And so I can close that. And now I just want to refresh the page. And now you can see things look a little bit differently now. And I'm just going to log in here. And there we go. And now we have the new exciting background that goes along with the whole color scheme. Because otherwise these kind of look weird of the old background. So the first thing I want to go over with you, which I think will be the easiest thing for you to pick up, is we have now extended the amount of sessions that you can select. What I mean is that normally you can run 8 sessions on whatever you're running. Let's say, for example, I click start a session, and let's say that I click, uh, let's say, pain reduction, and select that. And I'll just click next. And so, of course, I have my power setting, but now I can select the number of sessions, which will extend the runtime of the overall session. And now the number goes up to 12. So I've been working a lot on the frequencies and fine tuning stuff. And I feel that we can definitely do 12, and it works out really great. It really kind of, you can set it in the morning and it kind of runs. So if you started at like 8, that it kind of fizzles out at 8 o'clock in the evening. And then, you can go to bed a little bit later, give your body some time to decompress. And all that's great. So the longer runtime really, really helps for certain people who have like chronic stressful issues that they want to work on. And so, yeah, so we can just totally select 12, and that would be great. So that is one of the little cool things that we've done. And so the next cool thing is that we've added another button. And so now we have start a session, smart session, and we have interactive session. Now, interactive session will eventually be a menu of things that you can select from. But right now, because we're still working on those things, we have one of those things completed, and that is the Serenity session. And so I'm going to click on select Serenity session, and it's going to take me, as you can see, to another page. So this is my original tab here. It opens up another tab here. And so this is the Serenity session page, and it has its own history. So anything that you do in this Serenity session will be saved in the history. And so I'm going to show you how this works. So I'm going to click start a, oh, and by the way, go to consult. This just takes you back to the regular consult page. This is what we call the consult page if you're new to MetaBalance, where all the consulting apps are here. So first we'll click start a session, and Serenity comes up. And so I can tell her anything I want, and she's going to do like a deep dive with me. She's going to help ask specific questions and help to try to pull out answers to make the whole session for me. And so instead of me selecting, pain reduction or emotional clearing, she's going to make a customized session based off the problems that I tell her to help with my stress reduction. So let's try easy one, and let's just say depression. Okay, or I could say I feel depressed or whatever, but I'm just going to say depression. You can say whatever you want, and so then we see our little icons come up. From 0 to 10, which one is the worst? And I'm going to say it's really bad. It's the worst. And then she says, "How long do you want the session to run for?" And as you can see, I can run it for up to 12 hours. I'm just going to say an hour, and I'll set that. And now she asked me the first question to get a better understanding of what kind of depression I may be feeling. And she says, "What are the main triggers or events that have contributed to your depression?" And I could say, I'll just say friends and family. That's a really good one, right? And so those are the people who are closest to you. And we'll see what she says about that. So she's like, how do they contribute to your feeling depressed? Let's say a good answer. They don't. Sorry, I'm in kind of a dark room and I can't see my keyboard. Let me turn on the backlight there. That's better. They don't understand me. How about that? Okay. What specific situations or interactions with friends and family make you feel misunderstood? Um, let's say my ideas are different than theirs. Okay. And say, how do you feel when your ideas are not understood or accepted by them? And I could say bad, sad, um, and we'll just leave it at that. We'll just say bad and sad. And so now she's got enough information, and she starts to create the session. And now we see the waves moving in real time. And these are all the different waves all overlapping. And she gives me a little bit of advice of what I could do to maybe get a clearer perspective on things. And she says, focus on finding common interests with your friends and family to bridge the gap in understanding. Share your thoughts in a calm and open manner, explaining your perspective clearly. Seek out support for those who appreciate your unique ideas and can engage in meaningful discussion. Consider journaling your feelings to process your emotions and gain clarity on your thoughts. Allow yourself to express your individuality while seeking connections with others who resonate with your views, which I think is pretty good advice. And so, what she's telling you though is this is the general theme that she's putting together for the session for you. And so, as the program is running, I can feel it kind of pinging me, and doing all kinds of stuff. So now I can continue talking about that if I want to. But usually the questions that she asks usually hit all the points, and you usually don't feel compelled to say anything more about it. But if you do want to talk about it, or you do want to talk about something else, you can totally do that, and she will adjust the session accordingly. So let's say, for example, we're working on depression right now, but maybe I forgot that I also have back pain, okay, which is pretty different from depression. So I'll say back pain. Okay. And so she gives me a little tidbit of information here. Practice good posture and ergonomic principles while sitting and standing, engaging in gentle stretching and stretching exercises for the back. And she goes on to explain more stuff. But the thing is, she's going to adjust the program with these relaxing, calming frequencies to help to relax and unstress, de-stress the back. And then she says that she's adjusting the waves to reflect the new information, and then she lets you know when the waves have been adjusted. And as you can tell, the pattern is much different than it was before. Now I can leave this screen up, or I can just click this close icon, and this will take me to Serenity's page. And here I can see the time of how long the session is going to run to completion. And of course, we have our categories of stress factors here. It is showing us what's going on, and so I can let this run out, and it'll be done. And I'll go ahead and stop it. So this is what it's going to look like, and it shows me what I was before, which was all steamy and huffy. And now say I'm doing great. There's no pain. And so then that gives me a rating of 100% improvement. And of course, that stores it in my history. And so this new way of doing it, the computation of the software with the dual AI system is so fast and it's so comprehensive. And so it's amazing how it just is able to ask the right questions, pull out the right vibrations, and send those subtle vibrations out to like just so much faster than before. So I'm really, really loving this work. We've been doing this, we've been working on this for months, and it is super, super great. So I hope everybody gets a chance to try this out. Uh, I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I can't see some of the buttons at the top. So, okay. All right. And so now I got that cleared out. Let me share my screen again. And I'll show you what I was trying to show you here. Okay. So right here is my history button. And so I can click on that, and I can see my session here for depression. And of course, I can, as always, I can run that session again. And I could have told her a whole bunch of stuff, and whatever I put in the first chat box, all of that stuff will be saved in the history. So there's so many things that you could do with this. It's just fantastic. And so I want you to play with it, figure things out, see, really push the boundaries of what it can do. Um, let me go back to the main thing. So so interactive. Right now, I'm going to I'll give you like a little sneak preview of some stuff that we're working on. It's just a little sneak preview, so don't get too excited because we haven't started on it yet. And so these things will probably disappear in the next 24 hours, but I left them up there so that we could kind of see of some things to come. There's going to be more things in this, but so this Serenity session is the only thing that you can really click on right now. But we're gonna get rid of all these so they're not confusing to you. But we're gonna have the new body map technology, which is going to be really cool. It's going to be able to, you're going to be able to click on parts of the body and like a model. And it's going to be, all these things are interactive. So instead of just clicking a button and going and doing something else, this allows you to kind of do like a deep dive on stress related issues with the body. We're also going to have a Serenity version that does audio that's audible, that you can hear it, and video so you can watch it, um, interaction. And so that's a great new thing that's coming. We're also going to have guided meditation stuff. We're going to have breath work. If you're not familiar with breath work is really great. It's kind of like qigong. It's breath exercise that helps to clear things. And Serenity will be able to show you how to do the breath work correctly to help clear different stress problems, stress factors, sound work. And so this is going to be audible tone sequencing. So there'll be different frequencies, whether it's like Tibetan crystal bowls, healing bowls, sound bowls, uh, or tuning forks. There's all kinds of options that we'll be able to do on that. Exploration is going to be really, really cool. That's going to help suggest things for you to investigate, like certain stress factors that you may not know are a problem. And then you can kind of uh, search them out and do session work on these stress factors that may be unknown to you, causing you a lot of problems. And then eventually we will have a scheduled program, and the scheduled program will allow you to work on chronic issues and things. It'll allow you to set a schedule, for probably like a week at a time or something like that. We don't want to necessarily run it too long because I don't want somebody to, you know, put a program on for like a month and and then they never go back and look at it, and they wonder what's going on. So we have a lot of cool, new, exciting things coming up, and so my goal is to get these things ready uh, before the end of the year. And so we're working very, very hard to try to get these things ready. But I am very, very pleased to show you the Serenity session because that is super amazing. And so the interface has changed. The you're just going to have to try the session. The session is just really, really fantastic, and I encourage everybody to give it a shot tonight, and we'd love to hear your feedback on it. And so keep in mind, we're just now releasing it, and so if she says anything weird, let us know. And so, do we have any questions or anything?
Yes, there's a
Okay.
question. Let's see. So, is more saved than just what you put in the first chat box using Serenity?
Not at this time. And so like the frequencies of the session will be saved. So, but as far as what the session is called, well, it'll be basically designated by what you type in first. Now, we're going to be working on that to where you can kind of scroll through or pick up where you left off in a chat session. Um, I've been on the fence about that just because so many things change so quickly that some things just aren't really applicable anymore. And so we decided to start out just doing the first box information. And so we'll see how that goes. And I have to figure out how to set it up in such a way that it's applicable because let's say that I put that back pain issue in after the depression, and that was just kind of something that I threw in there. I don't necessarily want that in my next depression session. And so it's just a matter of figuring out how to do that in such a way that's applicable. So right now, it mainly recalls whatever goes in the box first. So you can describe whatever you want, and it can be pretty much as long as you want, I think. So we're going to start with that, and we'll go from there.
Okay, that was the only question so far.
Okay. All right. So many people and so few questions. Everybody must be an expert by this time, right? Okay. And so let me go back to the page here. And so for some of you who may be new to this, we've got start a session, we have smart session, we have interactive session, and we have modalities. And so I'm just going to go through that real quick for some of the new people. But I hope everybody likes the new interface and the new color scheme. Emily actually put that together, and it looks very nice, I think, and helps to represent the vibe well, I think. But so start a session gives us general session, which can pretty much, do anything. You could explain pretty much anything. And the general session does a lot of general work. More specific programs like emotional clearing, pain reduction, relationship stuff is great. Boost energy is great for in the morning. Calm energy is great for in the afternoon or evening. Or if you're having like anxiety, stress, or something that's where you're feeling jittery, that's great for that. Sleep quality is a great program. A lot of people try to run sleep quality while they're sleeping, but it's actually better to run sleep quality during the day and then go to sleep at night. Uh, Super learning helps with memory stuff. It helps to open the mind to be able to understand and retain information better. It's really great. I was just showing that to somebody earlier today. Enhancements help to just kind of make things better. So if there's things that you want to make better, you can talk about that in enhancements. And environment is great for your local environment. If you've gone to a place and it seems to have bad vibes, you can pull up your environment and it helps to kind of clean up the vibes in the environment that you're in. And situation is great because that's a different, what we consider a different layer of energy. And so sometimes it's not about a stress factor related to a person or a place or a thing. It's more of a situation. And so that's a great program that helps to hit things that are kind of tricky sometimes. So if you run a general session and it doesn't seem to be helping with what it is you're doing, situation might be the one that you really want to run. And so that's all under start a session. And so then smart session is very automatic. It's very AI controlled. And so you don't have to, think of anything or select anything. It'll select all the programs and stuff automatically for you. And so when I click on that, it just takes me straight to how strong do you want it and how long do you want it to run for. And from there, I can just hit continue and the session, then I'll rate it, of course, and then the session will start. So that's all about automation and getting the session started very quickly. Like maybe you don't have a lot of time to punch stuff in. So boom, smart session is the way to go. And so of course we have the new interactive session with Serenity session, which we went over that, and then modalities. And modalities are great because there's a lot of them and they all do really cool different stuff. And so if you're not familiar with some of these terms, you can Google them and get some information on these things. And so acupressure, auras, and chakras. Fitness is really great. It helps a lot. Massage, meditation, metaphysical clearing, which kind of like clearing energy, karma, curses, that kind of thing. Reiki, pretty self-explanatory there, I think, is just basic energy um, vibration. Rife, if people are familiar with Rife frequencies. Salutogenesis is a concept of like flushing pathogens from the system through relaxing the body. And so I encourage you to try that. It's really good. And also to look that up to learn more about it because that's a very underappreciated science. And so Shun Shin Tao Qigong. And so that is our style of Qigong that we do, applied Qigong. And it's really great. It's super relaxing. trigger point work. And so trigger point work is kind of a massage technique that deals with stuck points in the body that help to release muscles. And that's really great, especially if you're stiff or sore. And so yoga is really great, pretty self-explanatory. It helps to loosen you up and make you a little more flexible, help you do some, so you can punch in certain poses if you're having trouble with them, or you could just kind of let it run the general yoga program, and it helps. Body balance is a general body balance and strengthening program that's really great. Use that one a lot. And nutritional helps with nutritional stress factors that let's say that maybe you're deficient in vitamin C. Sometimes it's not about being because you're like, man, I eat like 20 oranges a day. I'm deficient in vitamin C. Why is that? Sometimes there can be a stress factor that's blocking your ability to absorb this. And when your body relaxes, then the stress factor goes away, and so does the vitamin deficiency. And so that's the level of assistance that this gives the body. Same thing with hormones. Stress factors can block hormones. Uh, Stress factors can create negative hormones that you don't want that cause stress reaction. So that's a good one to help balancing hormones. Detoxification, also another good one to de-stress the body to release toxicity. And addiction clearing, which is a newer one and is really great. I've got a lot of good feedback on that one. And then gut optimizer, also a new one, but again, a lot of great feedback on that one. So we now have like over, I think, 25 programs now, with more on the way of super coolness that are coming. And so the main thing tonight to remember is to be able to clear your cache, and that now we have an extended runtime for up to 12 hours, and the interactive sessions, which are interactive. You will need to be present for that, for most of them anyway, doing something. But it really helps to do a deep dive and really get to the root of a lot of these stress factors. And it is so great. I just can't tell you how great it is. You're just going to have to try it. Okay, so it looks like we may have some more comments now or questions. So how are we doing on questions and comments?
Yep, have some more. So let me scroll back up for you.
Okay.
So I have a really nice comment actually. Um, Sophia says, she just want to say how much I'm loving Meta Balance. I use it daily and it's helping a lot. A lot is changing rapidly. I've been using Meta Balance to keep me sane and grounded. My clients from my manifestation product that joined Meta Balance are loving it too. One of them has the family plan. Her 16-year-old daughter is using it for everything. The members are having some great successes with creating things too. One created a new job. Um, and one's in Australia, so she may be watching the replays instead of live. Thanks so much for this amazing tool. It's a real advantage when you're trying to make life changes.
Oh, that's great. Well, thank you for
So,
the great comment.
yeah, and then let me go back up here. Someone tried it right before the meeting because they had a sudden headache. Come on, and they only used one panel with the Serenity session and talked to her for a few minutes, and within 10 minutes, the headache dropped by 80%. I have never had one panel work so good so fast.
Oh, that's great. So somebody was smart enough to figure that out, huh? Good, good. Uh, Good. I'm
Okay,
glad it's super
so hold
fast.
on,
Yeah.
let me just go back. What program and prompts would you recommend for recalibrations brought on by the full moon, lunar eclipse, equinox? I have about 10% of my normal energy.
Yeah. And so for something like that, metaphysical clearing would be good. You could also do situation, probably situation, and you could run both really, and just explain the situation. Hey, I'm having a lot of stress coming from this lunar cycle stuff that's going on, and don't underestimate the solar flares. There's been a lot of solar flare activity that's really been affecting a lot of people, driving their stress through the roof. And if you need any proof of that, just look around when you're driving, because everybody seems to be very upset about something. But yeah, solar flares are a really big one. But yeah, so metaphysical clearing and the situation clearing button, which is in the one's in modalities and the other one's in the start a session.
Okay. If I wanted to clear arteries, would that be better to put in another area instead of interactive because it would be hard to interact with that one?
No, actually, I was just doing some stuff on that with testing out the capability of the new Serenity session in the interactive. And I got to tell you, it was fantastic. And so I was so impressed with the difference on a 12-hour run with the Serenity session. And so just go in, describe the problems, and answer the questions and let it go. And then see how you feel. And of course, something like that, that's a lot of stress, physical and potentially mental, emotional. So, you want to run that for, a few days, maybe a week or two, something like that. But you should start. I started feeling better overnight. I was really, really amazed and impressed at how much better I felt after running that on circulatory congestion is basically what I told it. Like as it's circulatory damage and congestion, because everybody's got that. If you've been on planet Earth, and you're over 25, you're probably got some of that. So it's good to run that to help increase the circulation.
Okay, so someone has been wondering what happens if the internet connection is interrupted while a session is being run.
Yeah, the session will still run. Yeah, because even though if you get disconnected from the server, the session will still run on your end because all the computation has been done. Now, you might not be able to update it if your internet is disconnected. Like you won't be able to talk to Serenity and she do additional calculations. But as soon as your internet comes back, you're able to do it. But the session will still run even if the internet has cut off.
Okay, and then and I explained some of this in the chat, but like if someone's running a session, do they need to be within a certain distance? So if they're running it for 12 hours, can we go out and run errands and just leave the browser on? So I just explained that you don't have to be close to your device.
Correct. It's quantum technology, and you don't have to be close to your device. Now,
So okay.
eventually, there will be programs where you're going to want to be next to the device because they'll be visual or audible, and you will be, locally in the field of that. But this is all based on previous technology that I designed and developed, and so it uses similar technology to do it. So no, you do not have to be around it when it's turned on. Like once you're scanned in, you're good. Once you do your initial scan in, when you first sign up for MetaBalance, like you're good.
This is just a browser question. Someone said they heard that running more than one browser on the same computer can cause problems. If they already have Google Chrome, do you think problems would develop if they added Brave?
No, not at all. I don't know why someone would tell them that. But I mean, at any point in time, like developers, like software developers, like I'm a software developer, I may have like 12 to 15 browsers on my computer because I have to check each one of these browsers uh, to make sure that MetaBalance works in each one of these browsers. So it absolutely, will not mess up your computer to have multiple browsers, especially if it's Google Chrome and Brave, because uh, Brave is basically Google Chrome. It uses the same engine as Google Chrome.
Okay, let me find the next one. Let's see here. So this is about boosting. If you boosted it first and then go in and it says normal and then boost again, is that two separate boost types?
Oh, wait, ask that question one more time.
I have a question about boosting. If you
Mm.
boosted it first and then go in and it says normal and boost again, is that two separate boosts
No,
or
no, it's
boost
not. You're
types?
just updating the power intensity of the session. And so it just starts at normal. And so let's say you set it the first time you went through at extreme, and so when you click boost it, it's going to show normal and it's just asking you which one, how intense do you want the session. So if you click normal, it'll say that it's boosted, to normal. If you click maximum, it'll be boosted to maximum. And so you're just updating the boost. And so it's not a double boost.
So the more you boost it, then the more boosted it gets.
No, no, it is
No, that is not.
absolute.
No,
No, it will only go to
nope.
whatever the last setting is that you chose. That's the power level that it will run at. So if let's say you chose extreme and that seems to
Okay.
be like it's a little too much, you can back it down, or if it's normal and you wanted to boost it, you could boost it to all the
Right.
way up to extreme, but it's not a double boost.
Okay. And then they just explained power level extreme on the first page, then manage session and boost. Hopefully I'm making sense about how it seems that it is located twice. Okay.
Yeah, that's just so you can change your power setting mid session. So you don't have to stop the session and go back and change it if you don't like what it's set on.
Someone said the second moon thing is wild. Um, what program and prompts? Oh, we did that already. Let's see. Okay. So, what about hearing issues?
Uh, I would say probably the best thing to do because it's kind of the most comprehensive as far as adaptive on things like that. Because hearing is something that can be multiple problems. I would do the new Serenity session and I would let her do a deep dive in asking these questions as to why there are certain issues, and I would set it on 12 hours and I would let it work on that. And you may have to do that, for days or weeks or whatever, but if it's able to help that, which sometimes it definitely is, uh, I would definitely try it for a couple of weeks on like 12 hours a day on the Serenity session.
Okay. Where should my attention go? I had total knee replacement 3 weeks ago. Such as acupuncture, massage. I'm trying to heal it with direction from the program.
Okay, and so it's pain related, or what's the actual issue?
That I'm not sure about. Just a total knee replacement. Just probably trying to
Okay.
heal it up. It's usually very sore afterwards and
Okay, just
swollen.
healing. Okay, yeah. So if you're just trying to speed up healing, the the pain reduction session is actually really good at that because it's not signals, for example, that block pain. It actually speeds up like the circulation of blood and chi, and it helps to move things, and that's what you're wanting to do is get circulation to the area. So you can like just choose like pain reduction session, and you can say things like swollen knee, damage from surgery, blah blah blah, anything like that. Or you could try the Serenity session, and just tell her what the problem is and let her ask the questions and set the session up for you. In fact, I mean, that would probably be the best way to go, just because there can be many different factors involved. And so let her make the session for you.
Okay. 1 second. Okay. Is MetaBalance developed by the same software as SRC? And I put the foundation was built on SRC, but it's different programming.
Yeah, so there are principles that they do share. However, the meta balance is completely different technology. And so where they still, it's kind of like uh, is a is a portable phone or is a wireless phone in your home the same thing as a cellular phone? Well, they're both phones, but like one phone has to stay in your house and it may not be corded and is wireless, but it can't leave your house or it gets too far away from the base. But like a cellular phone is more portable and it can go anywhere for the most part. So, but they both then work off of the telecom communications system. So there are certain factors that they do share, but I would say outside of those factors, which are not very many, um, they're probably like 90 some odd percent different in how they work and function.
Okay. How is the Serenity session different from a smart session?
So yeah, so the smart session is the AI Serenity picking everything for you without any information that you're giving her. And so it starts a quick session. She automatically chooses based off of your history of stuff that part of it's based off your history, part of it's based off of calculations that she does in putting it together. But she puts all of it together as fast as she can. So think about it as like the AI is knows what it knows about you and is shooting from the hip and going to run a series of general stuff and specialized stuff and kind of a shotgun effect to, you know, make you feel better. And so with the Serenity session, now you're telling her something specific and she's not going to do all of this other shotgun effect. She's more like a sniper and she's looking specifically at this problem and she's using all of her capability to focus in and create a session that revolves around this specific problem.
And a few people have commented that they do have multiple browsers open all the time and that their computers are fine.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I just wanted to add that in there. Um, 1 second. Can you overdo it, giving yourself too much by extreme and boost, etc.?
Well, overdoing it, you know, there you can anything can be done too much. There's an old saying in martial arts that says that water is good for us, but we can also drown in it. And so when you're dealing with vibration, uh, it is so difficult to overdo anything with meta balance or even the previous SRC technology, you know. But some people are very sensitive to things, and if they do uh, feel like they're doing too much, they'll just kind of feel a sense of heaviness. And so if you're running a whole bunch of stuff and you feel like a sense of heaviness, maybe just turn your programs off for a minute, and you may feel a sense of lightness come on you. And so some people who are kind of deficient, especially in like kidney and adrenal chi, those type of people can experience like a heaviness. And so it's not like a big deal if you do experience it. You would, you know, if you're running stuff and you're not feeling better, in fact, you start to feel worse slightly, then shut the program off or you have too many programs running. But uh, you know, the meta balance is such a leap forward. I mean, SRC was a giant leap forward. It was virtually like, you know, healing crisis free. Like you virtually can't cause a healing. And meta balance is even better than that. So it's like we went from like 99% to like 99.99%. So it's you know, it's super clean, super efficient. And that's why we were able to raise the time that it runs to 12 hours. And so because you know, after doing a lot of testing on it, um, you know, it should be great for anybody to be able to use it, you know, for the long term, even if they open up multiple panels, which the longer runtime and then Serenity being a coach on the side that, you know, in any session, because Serenity is always there in any session on the side. And I'll show you how you access that real quick, just so we're all on the same page. So let's say I start any session, I'll just start a smart session and I'll say I'm doing poorly. And now the session goes. So you can see how fast everything processes and is up and running. And I go, oh, you know, I ran that session, but I forgot to put in my back pain. And so I'll say back pain, and she's going to add that in. So she gives me some tips, and these are things that she's adding in. These are like lyrics in the song. You know, she's using all these things from the Matrix to create the harmony that we need. Uh, And so I can say, for example, I can say acupoints for back pain. How about that? And and so she gives me a list of acupoints that she's going to add into the session. Okay. And so, you know, I can do herbs for back pain. Okay. And so now she's going to add these vibrations into the session. And so now I've changed the dynamic of the session, whatever it was before. Now I've added these things in. I can talk about emotional stuff. I can add anything into the session. So if that one session is running for 12 hours, I can go in and I can add these things, Serenity's there at every level to add stuff into whatever session is currently running. And that makes it great. It makes it really, really helpful. Okay, anything else?
I was muted there. How about long-term issues like scoliosis or cervical spondylosis, neck arthritis, osteoarthritis? How many days, hours would be the recommended regimen?
Those are going to be some very, very physically based, stress markers. And so, that's something that you would typically, I would run like 8 to 12 hours a day. And it's something that you may have to run for like weeks or even months. Um, but it should help you, like if you're experiencing any pain from it, or if you're experiencing stiffness from it. A lot of these things, it could improve your situation. And I don't know what would be the long-term effect on that because I haven't done such things over the long term. Usually when I see problems that are very like hardcore physical like that, those are things that I deal with hands-on session work. And so, you know, and obviously, meta balance can't fix everything in the world, but it's there to help you with the things that it can help you with. And so some things do require physical energy. Some things require like a professional to do physical work on certain things. As good as the technology is, I have not crossed the barrier where we don't need, professional physical work. So, but it should be able to definitely help in long-term usage, especially if you use the new Serenity session. I think that would be a really good way to try it out, to do like maybe 8 to 12 hours a day for like, let's say 3 months and then reevaluate the session.
Okay, this next question is about someone who has mild sleep apnea, and it may be a big factor in their fatigue levels since they wake up a few times in the night. Would it be best to use a general sleep session or focus on acupuncture or something that might support opening airways in my nose, which are often closed due to physiological issues?
That's another one that's very physically based, and that can be a few different things. And so, um, that you might require to work with somebody, like a professional who can help you with that. But as far as running stuff on MetaBalance, probably the best thing for that would be to run that in the new Serenity, and just let her do the deep dive, let her ask the questions about how the sleep apnea is doing, how many times you wake up at night. And so uh, so so trying that out would probably be your best bet to helping. um, Sleep apnea usually comes on when you've had like spleen fatigue. And so the spleen, by that time, it's so fatigued that it doesn't hold the epiglottis uh, firm like it normally would. And so it gives that type of deal where the epiglottis is like flapping. And this usually is because a lot of buildup has built up around the upper thoracic, lower cervical area. And so they'll have kind of a domed punch at the T1 vertebrae. That's another clue that there's a lot of physical buildup there that's kind of like gripping on these spinal nerve roots that are causing them to have that problem. So strengthening the spleen is good. Clearing out the vertebrae, clearing out the all the acupoints and meridians in the upper back area would also be very good, or you could do the whole back. So all of those things are great to add in for it. And of course, you could tell it, sleep apnea. But the main thing is to try to get this to relax and try to invigorate the spleen. And that should give you a good shot at helping to relax that. Some people have this for a really long time, and so it's a very long-standing chronic issue. And so physical work like acupuncture, chiropractic, stuff like that has been known to help with that. But even that stuff takes a while sometimes with sleep apnea. So that's usually stuff that I work on like hands-on.
She said, thank you very much. She appreciates all that advice. How about combining MetaBalance with physical tools like the Golden Lotus Laser, Blue Dragon, Vortex Pro? Is there any particular tool you'd recommend? And in which case? So she had asked a question about the spinal stuff that you just talked about a moment ago.
Yeah, well, I mean, Blue Dragon is great. One of the best tools has been like, for just general stuff, because the Blue Dragon is very strong. It moves stuff really well. But a lot of people have really loved the new Oraflex Pro. They like the size of it. It's a it's a flexible light panel that I designed that is like premium quality machine grade, but you can actually like bend it, flex it, wear it, or you can sit and use it. And it uses a really powerful LED chip uh, and a deep penetrating light to help to loosen a lot of this stuff up. And so been getting a lot of good feedback lately with people who've been using that for a lot of back stuff. But of course, moving heavy phlegm, the Blue Dragon is really powerful for moving heavy phlegm in the body and kind of cleaning stuff out. So, and the Golden Lotus is phenomenal. And usually that's great for like spot work or point work, especially those points on the hands and fingers and stuff that are very powerful and affect the other end of the body. But if I was dealing with like working on back stuff, I would want something that covers more of a general area.
Yeah, so in TCM, we get phlegm stuck, like you spit out phlegm, but when phlegm stays in your body, it hardens like concrete, and it's very painful. And so a lot of people have, if you know anyone with like really tight traps, it just feels like a rock. It could be phlegm, and that could be causing, such a stubborn pain, especially people who get massages all the time and it doesn't really help them, or their pain comes back a couple days later. So the Blue Dragon's really good for moving, for really moving everything. And if you look up the benefits of terahertz frequency, it really does a lot. Our wand is just designed specifically. It's very powerful but very gentle. So even I can use it without detoxing a whole lot. And then like the light panel nourishes deficiency. So over time, we all become very deficient, and so this is physical work. So that's how it's different from MetaBalance. It's hands-on physical molecules. So when you use the light panel, you could use them on your feet and get all the points in your feet. You can use it on your ankles. You could use it on your hands. But anyway, those are my input on the differences of those. But you could definitely message us and we'll help you pick out whatever it is that you need also. So let me go back down here. Is there any recommendations for cat allergies?
Um, I would say probably either the general session and just describe the allergies, what they seem to be allergic to, because a lot of times allergies come from either the stomach meridian or the large intestine meridian. And so like depending on what the allergy is, whether it's food based or whether it's airborne, there can be a few different issues with that. And so it would be something that you would just really want to do over a period of time. So like the general session though, just punch in allergies and just run it, and give it a week or two, see how things are improving.
Okay, I'm just checking here. Oh, if there are herbs you are allergic to or can't eat because you have excess heat, are the frequencies safe even if you can't have the actual substance? Like Serenity just did ginger and warming stuff for the back.
Yeah, that's a great question. So let's explain how that works. So, like for example, I can say the word ginger, but that doesn't, make you have a reaction to it. So, like for example, if you're allergic to gluten, I can say gluten, and that doesn't make you react to it because I'm not giving you the solid molecule to ingest and break it down and process it in your body. I'm just bringing that up in your mind, and you're getting the image of gluten or garlic or whatever. You're getting the feeling of it, but it's not making your body process the solid molecule. So it's a lot like hearing a song about maybe something that you shouldn't have, but it's not the same thing as eating it. Okay. And so when we watch a movie, for example, like Gone with the Wind, maybe that's too old of a reference for most of our viewers, but Gone with the Wind was a classic Southern drama, and there was all of this deep acting and dramatic acting, and it invoked a lot of feelings from people. But you were never there. You know, no one's been to the Civil War, no one's been to these, you know, plantations, no one's lived in that time in modern day, but it invokes feelings from you. And that's kind of how meta balance works, is it basically sends information, your body picks up that information and interprets it. But so I can watch a movie, you know, about ABC, but I don't have to experience ABC. Have you ever watched a scary movie before? Okay, sure. And did you get scared? Yes, but were you ever actually in danger like the person in the movie? No. Okay, so images, sounds, vibrations can stimulate the body to react a certain way. And so I've kind of made it a science of understanding how these things work and how they interact with the body and the human experience. Just like people who make horror movies have done something similar. They actually, in a lot of horror movies nowadays, they play a subsonic, I'm sorry, infrasonic tone, an infrasonic tone, which is like under 20 decibel, or no, my terminologies. My terminology goes when it gets late, so I'll apologize for that. It's an infrasonic tone that is below the range of human hearing, and which is below 20 hertz. And so you can't hear it, but when they play it in the movie, which is in certain songs in the movie, so you can't hear it with your physical ear, but it makes you feel anxious. It drives up your fear and anxiety. And they do this on purpose to heighten the scene. And you walk out going, man, that was the scariest movie I ever saw in my life. And what you've really done is you've sat there and you've let them pound you with infrasonic tones and jack up your your panic senses. Okay, and they do this. You can look this up. This is not a secret at all. In a lot of modern day movies, like there's one specifically, which I do not recommend that you watch this movie because it's very scary. Uh, but The Conjuring, they definitely do that in The Conjuring, and you will like some people, if you have weak kidneys, you'll break out into like a sweat and a panic, you know, and you won't even know why, because maybe the scene isn't even that intense, but it's the infrasonic tones that they're hitting you with. Because just like there's uh, inaudible sounds you can't hear that can help you relax. Okay, there are sounds that you can't hear that make you on edge. Okay, and so and those sounds are out there. And so fortunately, they only understand like two frequencies, and but they use those, and those frequencies do work on a lot of people. And so some of the movies even recommend that if you have anxiety or panic attacks, don't watch this movie, and it's because of that factor.
Oh, I have a question which I ran to get my book. Someone said, can you recommend a basic beginner book for TCM? So TCM is also, it's short for traditional Chinese medicine, which Grandmaster David and I have a lot of training in and knowledge. Every one of our clients, eventually gets that knowledge too. And I've never met anyone who didn't appreciate having the knowledge. It's like when you learn TCM, your whole life just makes sense. And you just start retracing. Oh, no wonder I did this as a kid, and my mom did this, and this person did this, because it just makes sense. But this is it took us a while. I don't know if you can see this with the camera light, but oh darn, not so. Anyway, this is Chinese medicine made easy. It's kind of looking weird because there it is. So this lady is awesome. Her name is Clara, and she has a YouTube channel called AcuPro Academy. She's on YouTube. She does really fun videos and acupoints. So you can understand Chinese medicine by watching her YouTube channel also, because she breaks everything down for you. This will give you ideas of stuff you can run in a program like Meta Balance, just if you want to be really advanced. But so this book is pretty inexpensive, and she has a hard copy, which I like, and then she has an ebook. And there's three books. One is Acupoints Made Easy, and one is Chinese Medicine Treatments Make Easy, and that has all sorts of diseases in it, and tonsillitis, Lyme disease, acid reflux, and you just flip through it to your problem. So I'll anyone who'd like that information, just go ahead and email us. I'll send you her information. But again, it's Clara, Clara, from AcuPro Academy. And so the second book is if you're really wanting to learn more about TCM, is this book here, and it's called Between Heaven and Earth. Between Heaven and Earth by Harriet Beinfield. And this is the first book I ever read, and I totally got it. I was like, oh, I get it. And because she gives you analogies to TCM, and she gives you compares it to a car or to a plant, and she just explains the differences really well. And I think it's written by a woman who grew up with like a really medical background. So her parents were not that cool, I think, with her, or whoever wrote it with their parents, them doing natural, acupuncture stuff. So those are the books, right? Cover that pretty well. I was excited
Ah,
to share that.
the way, yes. And so
I
I
want to
would
share
definitely,
it with everyone because,
yeah, that's
the
great.
more people we can awaken, the better. Um, let's
I
see.
would
Let me
definitely
just go.
recommend the AcuPro Academy book first because
Oh yeah, yeah.
that's written for like a second grader. It's very, very super duper easy to understand.
And there's colorful pictures. She purposely puts colorful pictures and nice and shiny. So I have a question about Serenity. Serenity seems to not be answering questions as individually as she used to. Now it seems more vague and generalized. Was there a change made?
Is this on the consult page?
This is just the issue that I mentioned happened.
Oh, oh, I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So, to answer that question, Chat GTP, which makes up about 50% of her brain, updated to a new version of Chat GTP, and it kind of wiped out a lot of our protocols, and then we weren't able to put them back into place, and so we should be able to fix that now. So she should become more robust here in probably the next week or so. We just have to go in and fix everything, but we've been so pushing the envelope to try to get the Serenity session up and running. And so she still, so, yeah, the consult Serenity, she still does everything great, but she doesn't converse with you the way that she used to. But that will come back as soon as we figure out what changes Chat GTP made to their protocols, then we can figure out how to get everything back and better. Because my goal is to be working on Serenity at the very least at the end of the year, but probably till this time next year to really get a great series of responses back. Because I want her to be able to answer all the questions. I want her to be able to walk you through everything and suggest everything. So then that way I don't have to.
Yeah, and just another note, and so instead of waiting to release Serenity, we kind of released it while it's still in beta per se. I mean, she's ready, but instead of waiting a whole year until we have perfected it, we just wanted to get it out there now. And the best way to perfect it is for everyone to try it, and then we get to kind of get feedback on how to program it and how to develop it. So if that makes anyone feel any better, if they're sad that, that she's not working like she was. But even in the past, she was only working that way for some people and not for others, and it wasn't consistent. So that's all Chat GPT changed. Yeah. So sorry about that, but yeah, she'll be fine tuned. And if you ever want to just send us an email, go ahead and do so, and we always take everything into consideration. That's all these updates. I mean, I'd say half of them or more. He had already thought of some of them, but people be like, "What about this and what about that?" And so he'll add it to his list, or he'll say, "Oh, I'm already doing that." So it's always helpful to receive that. So somebody said they signed in on their phone and got the new colors, but they had the old background. So I
Cache.
just told them they had to clear, really try to figure out how to clear their cache on the phone. So, and if you don't know how to do it, I mean, if you Google, you just have to Google the device you're using. If it's a phone, put what kind of phone. If it's an iPhone, put iPhone 7 or 8 or 10 or whatever. And then a lot of people have YouTube videos on this. They walk you through how to clear your cache depending on the device you have. So I would just, if you have trouble, just email us. And because if you can't find it on Google, we'll find it for you. If you can't find it, we'll definitely help you with that.
Yeah, and understand that the program will still work even though it looks weird. So if you haven't figured out how to clear
Yeah.
the cache yet,
Well, hey, everyone wants the new cool background. We'll get rid of that yellow sun and get the nice relaxing blue and purple in there.
well, that's the
Okay, I'm
thing.
just scrolling.
The sun has finally set on all things beta on the consult, and so now we're moving into the evening phase with two moons.
Okay, she cleared her cache and all the colors are right now. So,
All right, good job.
yay. Okay. Can you develop a dependency on meta balance that is not healthy?
No, absolutely not. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's designed to not be like that, and so because the best thing to do is to like my whole art is all about like being self-sufficient, and so in this day and time where things are so crazy, you can't, or it's really hard to be self-sufficient unless you're going to be practicing qigong every day and tai chi and stuff like that every day. It's really hard to be self-sufficient. So but yeah, absolutely not. We're not big on dependency. In fact, even my clients who come and see me, in person, my job is to help them get stabilized where they don't have to come see me. And so I have a waiting list like, a couple months long. And so they come in, I want to get it to where they don't need to come see me. I want to educate them. I want to show them what they can do to help themselves. And that's the spirit that goes into uh, the SRC technology and into meta balance.
Yeah, and the truth is, unfortunately, the world is just getting more toxic. So, the food is contaminated, and if it's not, they're contaminating it further. They're giving the animals, genetically modified crops and vaccines and antibiotics and the water and the air. And so, as the world's going, unfortunately, right now, it is getting a little more unhealthier. So, people do need more support, so it's not, you never get addicted to it, but you may like your life better using it. But
Yeah.
all the work it does on you is permanent too. I mean, it's like, it's like when you're eating like really healthy and it's like changing your body and you're getting all the nutrients you need, and then you stop eating healthy and you start eating McDonald's and junk food, you're not really going to feel as good. So, right, is that a pretty good analogy to it? Using metabalance and not, I mean,
Yeah. Well, garbage in, garbage out, good energy in, good energy
yeah,
out.
good energy out. Yeah. So yeah, we all are about just self-care tools. Like everyone needs all like the help they can get right now, everyone on planet Earth. So Grandmaster David's always been on a mission to empower everyone and kind of change humanity. And so that's the principles that he operates on, is how can I make somebody's life better? So someone says, they love the AcuPro Academy channel, and Angie went ahead and posted the link here if anyone wants it in the chat to Clara's AcuPro Academy channel. Um,
Cool.
so biohacking and biological age reversal is getting popular. Is there any metabalance or SRC protocols you'd recommend to complement other biohacking, like diet, high intensity exercise? How can we monitor the results to know which protocols to keep using?
Uh, you know, as far as that goes, meta balance always records your first and your last, marker. So if you started out with something really bad at the end, maybe it's a little better, maybe it's a lot better. But so you could monitor how you're doing in your history with such things. But you could, aging related stuff is a lot to do with deficiency. And so tonification, restoration, strengthening, especially of like the kidney and adrenal. Those are, kidney, liver, adrenal, you know, though, or even really honestly, now think about, let's just go with the whole yin organ spectrum. And that's going to be kidney, liver, heart, spleen, and lung. And so, that's really where you're going to want to be at is working those organs. And, you can do that in body balance. You can do that in a Serenity session. And so you can really run that, but it's really just strengthening, nourishing those organs are really where it's going to be at to help to settle down age stuff. And there's lots of herbal supplements and stuff that work really well for like skin stuff and anti-aging stuff that I've recommended over the years. So, but all of that type of healing comes from within. And so if your body doesn't have the nutrients to hold everything together, then that's when it starts showing up in the exterior of the body. So, but you could do a Serenity session and you can tell her like, what you're not liking, what symptoms of aging or whatever that you're not liking, and do a deep dive on it. And I would run the session, run it 12 hours a day, try it for 1 to 3 months and then see how you do. You could put in fine lines, wrinkles, whatever it is that you want, what you're having problems with.
Um, okay. Do you know who did the calligraphy in your background? I think that's just the programmer, right?
Talk about in the background here.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, no, this is actually a generic template from the internet. I'm sure it comes from some martial arts
I thought it was a
dojo.
meta balance background. So yeah, I'm glad you caught that. Because I was like, I think the programmer.
Yeah, no, I
Cool.
think they refer to that. So, okay, well, I
In
would
our
say,
in our Yeah, we're gonna manifest one day. We're gonna have a room just like this. We love it.
and so I would
Right? It's
say,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
I would say let's end it up. I don't want to keep everybody too terribly late,
Okay.
but I hope that everybody gets some massive benefit about it. Please let us know, good, bad, or indifferent. I want to hear what your thoughts are about it because we can always change things. We can always improve on things. And who knows, you might have a really good idea. And so we want to make it the best that we can. We have so much super cool stuff coming up, but I know you're going to like Serenity Session, which is why we did that one first, because it's actually honestly probably one of the harder ones that it was really difficult to merge their AI with our AI, and it's been a thing. So uh, please try it, please use it, let us know how it goes, and I will step out of here. Good night and God bless everyone. And please be in touch, and we'll see you at the next one. And pretty soon, hopefully within a month, we'll have the next version up with some cool new stuff to play with. God bless.
All right, good night. Good night, everyone. If anyone does want information on the organ supplementation, I actually noticing my hair is like really healthy looking. I've been taking organ supplements for about a month. So I do run the programs every day. I run MetaBalance. I do a 12-hour run time. I mean 8 hour. I was doing 8 hours on Extreme, and I would do 3 panels at a time. Uh, to answer your question from earlier about you know, are you sensitive to it? We've had a couple of clients who were like sensitive in the beginning. I was one of those people, but I'm fine now. I mean, I'm doing well, I'll be doing the 12 now, but I just pull it up and I actually do 3 panels at a time on Extreme, and it's very, very helpful. So, yeah. So anyway, we look forward to seeing you all again. We'll send an email out with our next Zoom, and excited for everyone to try the new stuff out and then let us know how it's doing. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you. Yeah, no, Hi, Ron.